Hey everyone, welcome back to Coiners. Today I'll show you British 2 new pence minted in 1980. Bronze coin with mintage of more than 408 million. 2p struck in 1980 have now been circulating for 42 years. On a verse, as always, Queen Elizabeth II with embedded circle and surrounded by letterings in Latin. Here we have her second portrait. Coin is in extremely fine condition. We see insignificant amount of abrasions here and there. Device elements are sharp, yet we see slight post-mint softness on the higher points. Surfaces display strong dark patination around the neck area and around the right legends. When we flip it over, we see trace of mint luster, device elements and letterings, including incused letterings of Ich dien, meaning I serve, are well struck. On the center of right feather, we see round-shaped dark gray spots. Overall coin has a nice appealing. As these coins are still in circulation, they are worth less than $1, even at higher mint state. According to NGC price guide, at mint state 65 they are worth over 50 cents. This is the very first issue of British new pennies. Really quick about these physical features. Metal composition is bronze, that's alloy mostly containing copper and tin. Weight is 3.5 grams, diameter 20.3 millimeters. The 1 penny coin is currently the lowest circulating denomination of British pound sterling after the half penny was demonetized in 1984. New pennies issued in 1971 have now been circulating for more than 50 years. To avoid confusion between the old and new coinage, all three coins initially had the word new incorporated into reverse design. This was later removed. Oversight features a crowned and draped young bust of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, so-called second portrait. On the reverse, within a beaded circle, a crowned portcullis with chains, an adaptation of badge of King Henry VII. As obviously seen, this new penny is massively tarnished, copper totally turning glossy black around the rims and legends. Also strong patination is observed on the hair part of Elizabeth II. Must have been impaired by direct contact with water or undergone prolonged exposure to high humidity. When oxygen binds with copper, they form a new molecule known as a copper oxide. Copper oxide is brownish or sometimes black in color. Despite all massive piles of tarnish, design elements are sharply struck and surfaces display minimum wear. Few contact marks catch the eye on the throat area. Rims display numerous nicks and dents. Reverse side of a coin also shows heavily tarnished surfaces. We even see significant amount of green oxide layers. Inside cells of portcullis, surface of the fields exhibit some pinkish hues over predominantly gray, light brown surfaces. Softness on higher points is minimal here as well. Now let's find out current value of this coin and learn for what price range these coins are sold online. According to NGC price guide, at mint state 63 these pennies are worth at least 130. At mint state 65, 180. According to recent sales records on eBay, ungraded and mostly circulated 1971 new pennies sell for $1 to $15 depending on condition of a coin. Hey everyone, now I'm holding 1992 Elizabeth II 20 pence, minted by British Royal Mint, circulated coin in extremely fine condition. The British 20 pence or 20p coin is a unit of currency equaling 21 hundredths of pounds sterling. To help identification and avoid confusion with similar sized coins, the 20p is 7-sided and like the 50p is an equilateral curved heptagon. The shape, with its constant rolling diameter, means that it's readily acceptable in vending machines. Its composition is 84% copper and 16% nickel. This particular coin exhibits enhanced device motifs and bold strike. Incused letterings on the neck truncation are free from tarnish and dirt. Here we have the third portrait of British Queen Elizabeth II. On the focal areas we see several tiny ticks. Major distraction is this notch at 12 o'clock and this gouge behind the bust. Reverse side has a splendid appealing with strong trace of mint reflectivity. Device elements are razor sharp, surfaces are free from mentionable contact marks, except several nicks on the outer edges. The mintage of 20p struck in 1992 is more than 31 million. Therefore pretty common coin worth just face value at circulated grades. But according to NGC price guide, at mid-stage 67 they are worth $2.50, at MS68 $10, at MS69 condition $25. PR69 graded proof specimens are worth over $35. 1956 Elizabeth II 1 shilling. A copper nickel coin which was demonetized in 1990. Weight is 5.66 grams, diameter 23.55 millimeters. Overside highlights the right profile of Queen Elizabeth II, so-called first portrait, and legends around in Latin. Reverse side exhibits crowned English shield of arms, dividing the date, legend above, and face value below. This 1 shilling is at very fine condition, although it's circulated and device elements displays light softness on high points. It's pretty well preserved coin. On the hair of Elizabeth II we see slight wear accompanied by several contact marks. Legends are crisp but surrounded by tarnish from the edges. Unpleasant dark grey stalks also can be seen around the beaded circle. Reverse side is almost unabraded, except this slanting mark above 56. Backside of a coin displays very bold strike, eye appeal only weakened by massive tarnish stalks around the beaded circle, and inside coat of arms. Also strong concentration of seaweed hues is evident at the edge of letter E and H of face value. According to NGC price guide, at mid-stage 60 these coins are worth at least $8, at mid-stage 63 they are valued at $12 minimum. This is Canadian 5 cent from 1962, circulated coin at very fine condition. Content of a coin is a nickel. Weight is 4.54 grams, diameter 21.2 millimeters. Overside features right portrait of Elizabeth II, most probably at her late 20s, wearing wreaths and legend around in Latin. Coin has 12-sided shape. Edge is plain. Thickness is 1.70 millimeters. Reverse side depicts the beaver as a central device, letter in Canada, as the date below, face value above, flanked on both sides by maple leaf. Oversize show heavily abraded surfaces throughout. The most evident marks are crisscrossing on Elizabeth's bust, which prevents its 5 cents from extremely fine grade. Trace of mint luster only preserved on outskirts of the legends. Reverse side displays less abraded surfaces and very sharp design elements. Lower lettering, though, are not that sharply struck. Some green stain are seen around the letterings of face value and also around CDA of Canada. At 3 o'clock we observed seen but long contact mark. On eBay ungraded and mostly circulated but also uncirculated, 1962 5 cents can be fetched for $1 to $8 depending on condition and presence or absence of mint error. Moving on to other 5 cent. From 1979, metal composition is nickel, weight is 4.54 grams as well. Here on obverse we have second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, although it's less abraded as compared to previous one, yet it has several distracting contact marks and patination. Strike is sharp, which is evident from hairs and motifs of tiara. Around the lips we see several notches with slanting scratch extending until the letter I. Very much looks like a die crack. Near the left legend, some crimson russet hues graces the surfaces between beaded circle and the rims. While near the portrait to the right, some whitish stains catch the eye. Looks like a residue of some kind. Reverse side has a sharply detailed device elements which display no wear. Mintings are abraded but yet show no wear as well. This side of a coin is free from noteworthy contact marks and spotting, except this bag mark near the letter A. On eBay, ungraded 5 cents from that year sell for $1 to $4. This is 1919 Lincoln set in MS69 red condition. CAC proven unsurpassed rarity in this grade. Though an armistice was declared late in 1918, the superheated wartime economy rolled on into the following year. The Philadelphia Mint set a record for cent production in 1919 that was not exceeded until 1940, when another war loomed. This is the single finest specimen reported by PCGS, and it was sold for $421,875 with buyer's fee. This is 1944 P. Jefferson nickel struck on a silver dime planchet, a rare error coin in MS63 condition. According to Heritage, the present lot is a lustrous example with light honey gold toning and minimal post-strike abrasions. The high points are incompletely brought up, and those areas retain the planchet surface. The date and the mint mark are clear and complete. The strike is uncentered with most of wheat rust and United States off the flank. Liberty and the date have stretched appearance due to unstrained outward metal flow. It was sold for $2,400. This is 2008 Sacagawea dollar in MS68 condition. Highly elusive superb gem with immaculate surfaces and vibrant manganese luster. According to PCGS, the 2008 D Sacagawea dollars have one of the lowest mintages, if not the lowest, in entire series. They are common in grades up to MS66. In MS67, some sorting is required, but not difficult to find with proper searching. However, in MS68, they are very difficult to find, and probably no more than 100 examples exist in this condition or higher. This superb gem ended up selling for $2,430. Number 11. This is 1999 P. Jefferson nickel in MS68 condition with full steps. Registry set collectors actively pursue superb gem examples of this issue, although the present piece is in the class by itself. The strike on this one is needle sharp and the radiant surfaces yield a hint of champagne toning. It was sold for $4,465. This is 1952 S Roosevelt dime in MS69 condition. Best in a vivid mint set toning. Both sides exhibit rich crimson copper and orange russet peripheral colors around the lighter old silver centers. All areas are equally smooth with not even a single trivial blemishes in evidence. It was sold for $5,750. 1919 D Mercury dime in MS64 plus condition with full bands. Colorful iridescence cradles the borders of this impressive near gem. The luster is overall satiny and entirely unbroken by friction or blemishes of consequence. A full strike is apparent to all devices with intricacies sharp for even the most stubborn regions. The obverse is host to a number of die cracks concentrated on lower peripheries, with a bisecting crack that extends from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock border, a gorgeous representative of this desirable strike and condition rarity. It was sold for $6,462.50. Here is 1926 Lincoln Centennial as 67 plus red condition. According to NGC, blessed with large mintage and slightly better than usual quality control for the 1920s, the 1926P is easily found in fully red gem condition from fresh or just slightly worn dies. The example illustrated show what the advanced collector should seek in this issue. These cents are likewise common in all circulated grades. Examples could be found in pocket change right into 1960s. High-end gems are scarce. This specimen was sold for $3,125. This is 1938 D Walking Liberty half dollar in MS67 condition. A simply breathtaking superb gems, right obverse peripheries layered in vivid crimson red, orange gold and bright blue iridescence that yields to virtual brilliance elsewhere on that side of a coin. Similar colors are also evident on the reverse, but the more vivid ones are more tightly confined to the right border. Bountiful mint luster and uncommonly smooth sheen round out an impressive list of attributes. It was sold for $10,925. 1950 Washington Quarter in pure 68 condition, with deep cameo designation, razor sharp and almost flawlessly preserved, showing stark contrast between the frosted devices and the liquid-like feels. Each side is brilliant, adding to the outstanding white and black appearance. The proof 1950 Quarter exists mainly in non-cameo grades. Deep cameo pieces are inherently rare. This true gem was sold for $31,200. Number 12 here is 1914 Deal England Cent in MS64 Plus red condition. According to NGC, though not the lowest mintage issue in the Lincoln Cent series, the 1,193,000 cents coined at Denver in 1914 have the smallest surviving population. The other two dates were targeted by speculators and thus survive in disproportionately high numbers, while 1914 D cents flew under the radar until the opportunity to save them was all but lost. Most surviving mint state examples of this date are probably from a hoard of 70 pieces mentioned by Walter Breen and still in existence through the early 1950s. It was sold for $8,749.12 with buyer's fee. 1977 Jefferson Nickel and Mint State 67 Plus with 5 full steps on the reverse. Grade was assigned by NGC. According to Jaime Hernandez from PCGS, even examples in MS65 appear to be scarce. In MS66, it's very difficult to find whether searching for one or buying one. They just don't show up often. With full steps, it's scarce in any condition and very underappreciated as there are very few examples available. This gem specimen fetched a sum of $1,040.62 with buyer's fee. This is 1999 D Roosevelt dime in MS69 condition with full bands. A superb business strike 10-cent piece in threshold of numismatic perfection. Just one point prevents this dime from the finest grade available. That is MS70. Strike is tack sharp and both horizontal bands on the torch are delineated. It was sold for $1,800 on August 20, 2023. Bicentennial Quarter 1976 D clad quarter dollar in MS68 condition. Remarkably, of the more than 860 million 1976 D quarters struck from the United States bicentennial, few examples have qualified for an MS68 assessment at NGC. Brilliant surfaces exhibit pristine fields, satin luster, and full design detail. It was sold for $1,740. 1943 D Lincoln Cent in MS67 condition. This is an elusive wartime penny with repunched mint mark on a verse. Pristine looking surfaces are satin in texture and virtually perfect in every way. An intriguing coin, although the repunched D is obvious and noted. It was sold for $10,200. 1922 No D Lincoln Cent in circulated condition, graded as EF45 by PCGS. The 1922 No D strong reverse cent is rare and valuable variety of the Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that was minted by the United States Mint. The term strong reverse refers to the design characteristics on the back of the coin. In the case of 1922 No D cent, the reverse design shows more pronounced and well-defined details compared to obverse. This penny was sold for $2,040. This is 1995 Lincoln Cent in MS69 red condition. Extraordinary specimen with immaculate surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. A 1995 Lincoln Cent graded as MS69 is a high-grade coin that's almost perfect in terms of condition. However, whether it's considered rare and valuable depends on a few factors. An MS69 grade indicates that the coin is virtually flawless under close examination, but falls just short of the highest grade, MS70. Coins graded as MS69 are highly sought after by collectors due to their excellent condition, but they are not extremely rare. Nevertheless, this specimen was sold for $19,202.62 with buyer's fee. Here is 1924 D Lincoln Cent in MS64 Plus red condition. CAC proved an excellent gem. According to NGC, the Denver Mint had not coined cents since the small production of early 1922, and the demand for additional pieces returned very slowly to the region it served. Denver coined for the nation's breadbasket states, and American farmers were in distressed conditions throughout the decade. Most 1924 D cents were poorly struck from a quite worn dice. Full red gems are elusive, and mint state coins in any grade are in constant demand. Circulated pieces are likewise quite scarce even in the lowest grades. This MS64 Plus penny was sold for $4,749.75 with buyer's fee. And here is 1909 SVDB Lincoln Cent in MS64 red condition, a fantastic key date with alluring luster and great surface quality. The 1909 SVDB cent is highly sought after and rare coin in the field of numismatics. It refers to a Lincoln cent that was minted in 1909 at the San Francisco Mint and bears the initials VDB of the coin's designer, the Victor David Brenner, on the reverse side. The rarity of this coin stems from its limited mintage and historical significance as the first year of the issue for the Lincoln cent. Due to its scarcity and popularity among collectors, the 1909 SVDB cent often commands a high value in the coin market. This one was sold for $4,000. Moving on with this 1979 Lincoln cent in MS68 red condition, fire orange color adorns rims, progressing lilac gold patina over the central devices and fields. According to Heritage's exceptionally preserved superb gem boasts shimmering mint luster and a bold strike. Tiny ticks on the shoulder and one in front of Lincoln's mouth are noted simply for accuracy. It ended up selling for $2,820. Number 16, starting with his 1974 Kennedy Elf dollar. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary circulated 50-cent piece, but under close inspection you can see that the date on obverse are United States of America on the reverse is impressed very tight against the rims. This is because it's a result of mint slip-up, an error coin struck on a Taiwanese $5 planchette with metal composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel and weight of over 9 grams. Graded as AU55, this error half was sold for $2,880 on September 18, 2023. Number 15 here is 1968 D Lincoln cent with obvious mint error. Penny overstruck on a 1968 Panaman 1 centesimo. The remnants of undertype is faded, but can be distinguished on both sides. This extraordinary cent was graded as MS63 by NGC, and it was sold for $5,040. Number 14. Next, 1965 Jefferson nickel from Special Mint set, graded as SP67 Deep Cameo by PCGS, ranked in the 100 greatest US modern coins by Scott Schechter and Jeff Garrett. Only a few dozen 1965 Jefferson nickels exist with a highly contrasted, deep cameo finish, and few of those are as brilliantly mirrored as this example. Struck during a 3-year period from 1965 through 1967, these rare and coveted pieces stand in stark contrast to the mass production of small change during that period in US coinage, when US Mint nearly matched the total production of previous 1968 years in one short 3-year span. This SMS nickel ended up selling for $5,287.50. Number 13 here is undated Lincoln cent impressed on a struck Rosewood dime, graded in mint state 67 by NGC. Cents struck over dimes are scarce but can be found with patience. However, a cent struck 50% of center over a struck dime is a true rarity. The present lot is ranked number 92 in Whitman's 100 greatest US error coins. It is the most dramatic of the few off-center double denominations known with nearly perfect 50% of center strike. The cent strike overlaps the dime date and mint mark, and the date and the mint mark portion of the cent is off the flank. It was sold for $7,637.50. Number 12 here is 1972 Lincoln Cent with double die verse, graded in mint state 67 plus, read by PCGS and further endorsed by CAC. A gorgeous fire red and olive green superb gem. Both sides appear devoid of contact and carbon is virtually absent. Among Lincoln Cents, only 1955 FS101 exhibits more prominent die doubling than 1972 FS101. Other double die varieties are known for 1972 but none compare with guidebook listed FS101. These rare cents ended up selling for $9,600. Number 11, this is 1979 as Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a copper cent planchet. It is highly elusive and valuable error coin. This type of error occurs when there is a mistake in the minting process where the wrong planchet is fed into the coin press. Instead of receiving the proper coin composition, a copper cent planchet is used. This extraordinary error coin ended up selling for $8,700 on September 18, 2023. Number 10 here is 1916 D Mercury dime broad stroke, graded as extremely fine 45 by NGC. In numismatics, a broad stroke error refers to a type of coin error that occurs during the minting process when a coin is struck without being properly aligned within the coining chamber. This results in a coin not being fully contained with the collar, which is a ring-like device that helps shape the coin and ensures that it is struck with correct dimensions and edge design. Instead, the coin is struck with excessive force and spreads or expands beyond the intended size and shape. These broad stroke Mercury dime fetched a sum of $9,000 on September 18, 2023. Number 9, this is 1966 Jefferson nickel in MS65 condition with full steps. In spite of massive numbers of nickels struck in 1966, very few qualify for full steps. According to heritage auctions, fewer than 1 in 150 coins are estimated to have this degree of definition on the reverse. The light golden surfaces display silky satin-like mint luster and are free of major abrasions. This collector's item ended up selling for $11,750. Number 8, here is 1976 D Type 1 Eisenhower dollar. In MS67 condition, the Type 1 design is recognized by the thick letters in the reversed legend. This delightful superb gem displays vibrant mint luster on both sides, and the flawless surfaces are enhanced by shades of pale gold toning. The design elements are sharply detailed throughout, and eye appeal is outstanding. It was sold for $11,162.50. Number 7. This is 1976 as Jefferson nickel with obverse impression struck into a center of a clad Ike dollar planchet. The guidebook lists the weight of a clad Eisenhower dollar as 22.68 grams. A clad Eisenhower dollar planchet with raised rim was centered between a proof 1976 as Jefferson nickel obverse die and an undetermined reverse die. The strike was soft, though the right side of verse legends are clear, and the portrait is well outlined except for Jefferson's nose. The reverse exhibits outer portions of an undetermined design. It was sold for $13,200. Number 6. Here is 1968 S. Lincoln cent bonded with Costa Rican 5 centimos blank, graded in mint state 63, read by PCGS. The San Francisco Mint struck 1967 dated 5 centimos for Costa Rica. The 1968 mintage was 6,020,000 pieces, and the 1968 mintage was 4,840,000 pieces. The stainless steel coins had a diameter of 14.92 millimeters. The San Francisco also struck Lincoln cents during 1968, with the S mint mark appearing for the first time on the denomination since 1955. A 5 centimos blank and Lincoln cent planchet were fed together between 1968 S cent dies. The 5 centimos blank was fed on top of the cent planchet, relative to the obverse die, with the edges of two flanks aligned at 730.
Number 5 here is 1965 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet, graded in mint state 62 by PCGS. A transitional error struck on a leftover silver planchet from 1964. Errors of this type are rare. This piece is satiny with ivory white luster and minimal abrasions for the grade. Slight strike softness is seen on the finer details of Washington's portrait. It was sold for $16,800. Number 4, another 25-cent piece, 1976 S bicentennial quarter in mint state 69. Even under magnification, the exquisite preservation of this modern silver-clad piece is highly impressive. The subtlest hints of champagne patina are seen over the obverse, while the reverse is essentially untoned. Though the net mintage for the 1976 S silver-clad business strike is speculative, its rarity in MS69 is undeniable. It was sold for $19,200. Number 3, this is 1966 quarter dollar in mint state 68 plus, vividly toned specimen. Virtually flawless surfaces and boldly rendered devices complement the satiny clad luster of each side, while a wash of dusky rainbow toning produces unparalleled visual appeal. It was sold for $21,000. Number 2, this is lot of 1941 Walking Liberty a half mated pair. Coin number 1 is 1941 half double struck, second strike 90% off center. It was graded as AU58 by NGC. Coin number 2 is a 1941 half struck on a quarter planchet with edge brocage, graded as AU58 by NGC as well. The two coins have consecutive certification numbers. The second coin weighs 6.3 grams, similar to the standard 6.25 grams weight of a silver quarter. These pair fetched a sum of $24,675 at auction. Number 1, and this is 1950 Lincoln cent in PR 67 red condition. According to NGC, currency coins are often mistaken for proofs. A touch-up of the obverse master hub resulted in a greater detail than seen in earlier Lincoln cents, and a circulation strike from fresh dies is nearly equal to a proof. Despite these improvements, sales of proof cents continued to slide, and fully red gems of this date are very rare. NGC certified just 5 specimens in this grade with non-finer. It was sold for $187.50. Number 16, 1959 D Roosevelt dime in MS68 condition with full torch designation. This breathtakingly beautiful superb gem exhibits multicolored target toning on the obverse, reverse with mottled copper russet patina that's most extensive over the upper half of the surface. According to Stax Powers, frosty and silky smooth, both sides are virtually pristine. To define this coin as one of the finest certified survivors from the mintage of 164,919,790 pieces, this one was sold for $1,320. Number 15, here is 1951 D Jefferson nickel, graded in mint state 67 by PCGS. Apart from its superb gem grade, what makes this 5-cent piece valuable is its full steps designation, indicating fully struck Monticello steps on the reverse. Nice preservation and superb eye appeal. It ended up selling for $1,260 on September 17, 2023. Number 14, moving on with this amber russet toned 1948 S dime in mint state 68. PCGS assigned full bands designation. As I mentioned many times in my earlier videos, the term full bands in numismatics refers to a specific condition or grade of a dime coin, particularly in Roosevelt dime series, first minted in 1946. This term pertains to the design elements on the reverse of the coin. To qualify as having full bands or full torch, the dime must exhibit well-defined and fully separated horizontal bands on the faces. FB Roosevelt dime ended up selling for $1,620 on September 17, 2023. Number 13, here is 1912 Lincoln cent proof in PR66 brown condition. According to NGC, this matte grain of 1912 proofs typically is deeper than for other dates 1909, 1916, and this issue is also notable for its uniformly bold strike. While these conditions make for a wonderful illustration of the design, they have also tended to limit the number of fully red survivors. An odd feature of copper and bronze coins is that most fully struck pieces are also the ones most susceptible to toning. This wheat penny ended up selling for $2,760 on September 17, 2023. Number 12. Moving on with this 1966 Kenny half dollar in MS67 condition. All 1966 half dollars made for circulation were coined at the Denver Mint, occupied with 1965 dated pieces through July. It was not until August 1st, 1966 that Denver switched over to coinage of the current year. This odd situation resulted from the Treasury Department's determination to make enough 1965 dated coins to discourage hoarding of that date. Since most of 1965 had been occupied striking 1964 dated coinage, the commencement of 1966 dated pieces were deferred until the final months of that year. All of these deceptions resulted from the real shortage of circulating coins that appeared in 1963, and even greater shortage the government feared will occur when the public began to hoard the old silver issues, because quantity prevailed over quality for many years. These coins were not cared for, making gems rather scarce above the grade of MS65. These nicely toned specimen in MS67 condition ended up selling for $2,040. Number 11. Here is 1913D Buffalo Nickel in Mint State 67, Type 1 variety. According to David Hall, the 1913D Type 1 Buffalo is much rarer than 1913 Philadelphia. It's about 5 to 10 times rarer in Mint State, and probably 20 times rare in circulated grades. Still, 1913D type is one of the more available early-date buffaloes. This is generally a well-struck issue. Luster typically ranges from dull to bright satiny. This specimen was sold for $2,400. Number 10. This is 1914D Lincoln cent in MS63 red condition. According to Heritage, the 1914D is a popular key date cent whose notoriety is known far beyond the Lincoln series. Only 1.19 million pieces were struck, and full weight coins are seldom seen. The color on this coin is lighter in hue and brighter than the usual encountered 1914D. Unfortunately, the surfaces are dotted and dashed with a few carbon spots and trace of fingerprints, which accounts for the MS63 grade. Sharply struck as usual, it was sold for $3,240. Number 9 is this 1936 Lincoln cent in PR66 condition, CAC approved gem with brilliant finish, a glimmer red example of the second proof finish produced on Lincoln cents in 1936. The copper orange surfaces show no overt blemishes, and the strike is sharp. As usual for the issue, there is little cameo contrast. CA's endorsement affirms the high quality for the grade. It was sold for $3,360. Number 8. This is 1946 S. Jefferson nickel in MS67 condition with full steps. This lovely super gem has pristine surfaces and bold strike with full steps to the porch of Monticello. The frosty surfaces exhibit brilliant light gray luster with glass required to see the minimal, great consistent marks. It was sold for $6,300. Number 7. Here is 1919 OS Lincoln cent, a popular modern era penny, graded as PR69 red deep cameo by PCGS. The S mint mark was inadvertently left off the die used to strike about 150 proof Lincoln cents in 1990, creating this popular guidebook and cherry pickers variety. This spectacular PR69 example displays full definition on all design elements and deeply mirrored fields contrast profoundly with the frosty devices. The original red surfaces are one tick away from technical perfection. It was sold for $4,680 on September 15, 2023. Number 6. Next. 1963 D Jefferson nickel in MS65 condition with full steps, a reflective gem with exceptional eye appeal and bold design types. Both sides have light gold toning with slightly reflective fields. This is another full steps example that is rarely seen with a ratio of 1 to 3000 according to Bowers. Number 5. Moving on with this error dollar, 1972 as silver arc dollars struck twice off center, graded as proof 67 cameo by NGC. The first strike was approximately 40% off center at 12 o'clock. The second strike is about 35% off center toward 1 o'clock. The date and the mint mark from the second strike are bold. The date and the mint mark from the first strike are faint, but visible due to north of their second strike impression. Most of dollar, ICA and ERTY are absent, colorfully toned apple green, cream gray, and autumn brown, a dramatic error on a brown eye proof 40% silver Eisenhower dollar, which was sold for $7,800. Number 4. Year is 1944 Washington Quarter in MS68 condition. The importance of this piece to the registry collector is unsurpassed. Each side displays bold strike sharpness and vibrant satin luster, with faintest tinge of delicate champagne toning. A largely flawless coin deserving of the registry set. It ended up selling for $10,800. Number 3. This is 1943 Jefferson nickel in PR68 condition. This amazing coin has exceptional polychrome toning, especially vibrant on the obverse. The devices are sharply rendered and the pristine fields are deeply mirrored throughout. Overall eye appeal is incredible, from a meager proof mintage of only 14,158 pieces. It was sold for $12,925. Number 2, here is 1942 S Lincoln Cent in MS68 red condition. This is a marvelous, pristine, full red example of the 1942 S Lincoln Cent showing a bold strike and glistening copper-orange luster. No spots mar the eye appeal. Only a handful of 1942 S cents are certified this fine, and no higher grade pieces are known. It was sold on September 15, 2023 for $12,000. Number 1, and this is famous 1922 No D Lincoln Cent, graded as MS64 red and brown by PCGS, an outstanding choice and circulated survivor of this popular and conditionally challenging 1922 No D cent. The obverse is typically soft in strike, although all major design elements are fully appreciable in the absence of wear. Sharply defined throughout the reverse, with ample pinkish roy luster on both sides, minimally toned. This premium quality example is more red than brown, and would serve as a highlight in the finest Lincoln Cent or variety collection. It was sold for $63,000. Number 16. This is 1967 Washington Quarter from Special Mint Set, so-called SMS Quarter, graded in Mint State 69 Cameo by NGC. According to Stax Powers, in 1965 the US Mint took a hiatus from striking annual proof sets and issued special mint sets, coins that were struck on unpolished planchettes by polished dies. These were not treated with the same care that proof coins were, and coins hit against each other prior to the packaging. This is the finest example graded by NGC. The fields have superlative watery reflective surfaces and the devices are fully rendered by the dies. It was sold for $822.50. Number 15. Here is 1943 S Lincoln Cent with double die obverse, graded in Mint State 67 by PCGS. Lovely mint frost radiates from the surfaces of this example, a rare attribute for any 1943 steel cent. This is also an example of the rare FS101. Double die verse variety was doubling evident on the date, in God we trust, and liberty. A well-struck piece with mark-free surfaces, raised die lines in the right of verse field should not be mistaken for hairlines or pin scratches. It was sold for $1,351.25. Number 14. Here is 1939 Jefferson nickel with double die reverse, otherwise known as doubled Monticello, rated in mint state 67 by PCGS, one of stars of the Jefferson nickel series. The 1939 double die reverse is an elusive variety that's not frequently encountered. This intensely lustrous steel gray gem is fairly well struck and aesthetically appealing, and the bolt doubling at Monticello and 5 cents is unmistakable. Easily among the finest known of the variety and important to a registry set or other advanced Jefferson nickel collection. It was sold for $2,820. Number 13. Moving on with his 1965 Kennedy half dollar from special mint set graded as MS67 Deep Cameo by PCGS. Stunning and rare deep cameo quality for this challenging SMS Kennedy half dollar issue. Both sides are essentially untoned to allow ready appreciation of an uncommon degree of field-to-device contrast, fully struck with silky smooth surfaces that border on pristine. The special mint sets of 1965 to 1967 were produced in lieu of traditional proof sets, the federal government wrongly blaming numismatics for nationwide shortage of circulation coins, unlike proof coins struck immediately before and after. The SMS coins were prepared using dies that were not polished to the same degree. Additionally, the planchets for these issues were not burnished and they received only single impression from the dies. Perhaps not surprisingly, few 1965 SMS coins were produced with enough care to qualify for a deep or ultra cameo designation from the major third-party certification services. This elusive half dollar ended up selling for $3,360. Number 12. This is 1938 Lincoln Cent in PR66 red cameo condition. The frosty devices and deeply reflective fields of this pleasing gem cameo proof are bright mint orange throughout. Only 14,734 proof 1938 Lincoln Cents were struck. High-end gems are rare. This coin is absolutely choice, both physically and aesthetically. It was sold for $1,527.50. Number 11, 1963 D Washington Quarter in MS67 condition. This is a fully frosted, expertly preserved superb gem that is untoned apart from wisps of light golden temp patina that is boldest at the upper obverse border. PCGS certified 38 specimens in this grade with only single numerically finer. This example fetched a sum of $3,055. Number 10, 1950 proof Rosewood Diamond PR69 Ultra Cameo condition. The mint resumed striking proof sets in 1950 after a pause for World War II and post-war recovery. No finer 1950 dime proofs are certified than this blazing white high-contrast example. Richly frosted motifs sit on brilliant, flawlessly mirrored silver fields. It was sold for $16,800. Number 9, 1952 D Jefferson Nickel in mint state 67 was full steps. According to Heritage Auctions, as a numismatic hobby approached 30 years of third-party certification, the only population data provides a clear indication of the relative rarity for every series, with understanding that the data is biased toward higher grade and rarer coins. Understanding that a full steps example is more likely to be submitted in the first place is important when considering the relative rarity of these coins. This brilliant superb gem with delicate champagne toning over frosty mint luster just misses 6 complete steps on the reverse. It was sold for $16,450. Number 8. Here is vividly toned 1949 Washington Quarter in MS68 condition. The 1949 at 9.3 million coin struck has the lowest mintage for a Philadelphia quarter since 1932. The nearly perfect surfaces are virtually an afterthought on this spectacularly toned coin. The obverse is toned in rich shades of emerald green, scarlet, and lemon yellow that turns to lime green. The reverse is mostly brilliant save for the lower periphery, which shows the same color as the obverse, but in thin rings. It was sold for $17,625. Number 7. This is 1947 D. Lincoln Cent in MS67 Plus red condition, moderately plentiful in MS67 red. The 1947 D. Lincoln Cent is rare. This is fine with CAC endorsement. The present Plus graded piece displays satiny copper orange surfaces and luminous fields. No distracting spots are seen. It was sold for $18,000. Number 6. This is 1950 proof Lincoln Cent in PR68 red ultra cameo condition. The 1950 is rarely seen with ultra cameo contrast. Mint officials had difficulty during the first year of proof production after an 8-year hiatus. Pumpkin gold surfaces are practically perfect with deeply reflective mirrors and thickly frosted devices. This one ended up selling for $19,975. Number 5. This is 1953 S Franklin half dollar in MS65 condition with full bell lines. How seldom do full bell lines examples of 1953 S half dollar come around? Heritage averages only about one lot a year, as glance through the permanent auction archive shows. This notorious strike rarity seldom comes on market, not only because few certified examples exist, but because when collectors get hold of some, they loathe letting them go. This gem is bright and lightly frosted with gold-orange patina at the left obverse and reverse, and a smidgen of blue between Liberty and In on the obverse. A single vertical abrasion at the back of the Franklin's head contributes to the grade. It was sold for $28,750. Number 4. This is 1948 Booker T. Washington half dollar in MS67 plus condition. Vibrant, unabraded mint luster engulfs this high-end superb gem, leaving the interior brilliant but showing ribbons of rainbow toning around the borders. Detail is sharp. A loop reveals minor planchet marks on Washington's jaw, not fully struck out during coinage, but no mentionable abrasions are seen. The 1948 Booker T. Washington half dollar is plentiful overall, but superb gems are scarce, and plus graded pieces in this grade rare. It was sold for $36,000. Number 3. Here is 1950 Washington quarter in PR68 deep cameo condition, razor sharp and almost flawlessly preserved, showing stark contrast between the frosted devices and liquid-like fields. Each side is brilliant, adding to the outstanding white and black appearance. The proof 1950 quarter exists mainly in non-cameo grades. Deep cameo pieces are inherently rare. These specimens fetched a sum of $31,200. Number 2. This is 1949 D. Jefferson nickel with D over S repunched mint mark, graded as MS67 full steps by PCGS. According to cherry pickers, the top serif of the S is visible to the north of the D, with the upper left loop of the S visible to the west of the D. A sharply struck superb gem with potent luster and medium caramel gold and steel gray toning. A loop reveals only few pinpoint flecks. Since the San Francisco Mint coined close to 9.8 million nickels in 1949, the reason for shipping an over-mint marked die to Denver must have been to meet an unanticipated Midwestern demand for denomination with no other reverse dies at the hand. This specimen was sold for $32,900. Number 1, and this is 1954 Lincoln Cent in MS67 red condition. The Philadelphia Mint accomplished a mintage of nearly 72 million Lincoln Cents in 1954. MS67 specimens are highly elusive. This intensely lustrous superb gem sands offers deep reddish-orange coloration over both of words and the reverse. A degree of streaky tan color occurs near the top of the reverse, while the other side enjoys pleasing accents of lavender and powder blue. The strength of the design is readily apparent on the legends and the white lines, as is the absence of any butters and blemishes. It was sold for $31,200. Number 16. This is attractively toned 1964 deer Roosevelt diamond MS67 condition with full bands. The process of toning is caused by a variety of factors, including exposure to air, moisture, and chemicals. It is a natural process that takes time and it's not always consistent. This means that the natural tone coins are scarce, especially in superb gem grades, and they are therefore more valuable than the coins that have been artificially toned. Dominant charcoal copper obverse toning yields to the splashes of more vivid gold, blue, and pink iridescence towards the lower right border, untoned on the reverse with smooth surfaces and billowy mint frost throughout. It was sold for $920. Number 15. Here is 1951 D Roosevelt diamond MS67 condition with full torch, virtually pristine and conditionally rare for the issue. As such, this superb gem exhibits lovely obverse toning in iridescent sandy apricot, salmon pink, and champagne gold. The reverse is essentially brilliant, and both sides possess a full endowment of smooth satin luster. It ended up selling for $1,110. Number 14. This is 1971 S. Eisenhower dollar in MS67 condition. Comes with star designation from NGC. This beautiful superb gem is toned in multicolored iridescence that is most vivid at the borders. It is smooth and attractive, a pinnacle for an advanced Eisenhower dollar collector or toning enthusiast. Number 13. This is 1924 D. Lincoln Center MS65 brown condition. Comes with CEC sticker on the PCGS holder. Iridescent pinkish rose and steel blue undertones pierce through an overlay of medium copper patina as the surfaces rotate under the light. Boldly struck throughout, a very unusual characteristic of this often weakly defined date, a smooth, satiny gem that makes a very positive impression on the eye. It ended up selling for $2,880. Number 12. This is 1979 Lincoln Center MS68 red condition. The Philadelphia Mint coined 6 billion Lincoln cents in 1979, yet only 12 pieces have been similarly certified at PCGS. This glowing orange superb gem has bold design motifs with frosty luster and sensational eye appeal. It is destined for the finest collection, $5,462.50. Number 11. Here is 1971 Lincoln Cent with double die obverse, graded in mint state 66 red by PCGS. Moderate die doubling is seen on all obverse letterings. On this guidebook variety, magnification is usually needed to spot the doubling. The doubling is strongest on the word liberty and in the word in God we trust. The carbon-free surfaces show well-struck design elements and satiny copper red luster. The variety is rarely seen this fine. It was sold for $5,640. Number 10. This is 1965 Roosevelt time struck on a 90% silver planchet, graded as AU55 by NGC. This is one of the most popular wrong planchet errors in today's market, a transitional one that involves a 90% planchet that the Mint ceased using for regular issue dime production in 1964, with 1965 dated dies from the first year of regular issue copper nickel clad coinage. According to Stax Powers, otherwise properly struck, although accuracy does compel us to mention trivial softness of detail along the left of words and upper reverse borders, boldly to sharply defined elsewhere with bright brilliant white surfaces that retain appreciable mint luster. It was sold for $7,800. Number 9. This is 1970 S. Lincoln Cent with double die obverse, graded in mint state 63 red by PCGS. The doubling is boldest towards the left sides of Liberty and In God We Trust, but it is visible throughout the legends, as well as 0 in the date. Both sides show pleasing brick red color. A scrape is noted between the bust of Lincoln and the date. These, along with some light flecks, account for the grade. The Cherry Picker's Guide calls this definitely one of the rarest of all Lincoln scent varieties. It was sold for $6,325. Number 8. This is 1971 Noes Jefferson Nickel, graded in PR69 Deep Cameo by PCGS. This conditional rarity is among the finest Noes 1971 Proof Jefferson Nickels certified. According to Heritage, this conditional rarity is among the finest Noes 1971 Proof Jefferson Nickels certified. The needle-sharp motifs are starkly contrasted against liquid-like mirrored fields, and both sides exhibit a hint of warm, light golden toning. It ended up selling for $8,100. Number 7. Here is 1942 Jefferson Nickel struck on a silver alloy. Graded as Good 6 by PCGS, extremely rare transitional error. 1943 dated scent struck on a copper planchets. Bring spectacular prices, but similar wartime wrong alloy transitional errors on Jefferson Nickels are significantly rarer. The present lot is struck sans mint mark Type 1 dies, yet is struck in the silver alloy composition associated with the Type 2 design bearing the large P mint mark above Monticello. This error coin ended up selling for $9,987.50. Number 6. This is 1972 Lincoln scent with double die obverse, graded as MS67 red by PCGS. According to Heritage, only the 1955 and 1969 as double die scents are more obvious than the 1972. This amazing super gem exhibits fiery orange mint luster with reflective surfaces and eye appeal galore. The word Liberty is also doubled towards the south. The words In God We Trust on the obverse are also strongly doubled towards the east. It was sold for $12,925. Number 5. Here is 1949 Roosevelt Diamond MS68 condition with full bands, vividly toned specimen. According to Stax Powers, the obverse is painted in rich bands of colorful iridescence that intensify at the right border, showing a blend of teal, violet, and magenta hues. The reverse remains virtually brilliant, save for the slight dusting of oil patina visible under scrutiny. It fetched the sum of $13,200. Number 4. This is 1973 S. Kennedy $. Error. Double struck, both strikes off center. Graded as PR68 Ultra Cameo by NGC. The color dye was not deployed and the planchet was fed widely off center toward 8 o'clock. The second strike was west of the first strike. Remnants of the first strike include the 3 in the date, Trust, and the Kennedy's profile. Due to flank expansion, most of the design is present, though the tops of the L in Liberty and the ED in the United are incomplete. It ended up selling for $15,600. Number 3. This is 1919 OS Lincoln scent in PR69 red deep cameo condition. Essentially flawless and fiery red, this key Lincoln Memorial scent is meticulously struck superb gem. Mirrored fields are so deep they appear black under the direct light surrounding frosted orange-red devices. The stippled field texture seen on this scent is characteristic of the No-S proofs. This interesting and rare modern proof variety projects to have a surviving population of fewer than 200 coins, making it a must-have rarity for serious Lincoln scent collector. It ended up selling for $19,975. Number 2. Here is 1983 Lincoln scent struck on a copper planchet, graded as MS62 red and brown by PCGS. A transitional alloy mint error reminiscent of the famous 1943 copper scent. Though the zinc-plated steel scent was introduced in 1982, a small number of copper scent planchets found their way between 1983 dies. Perhaps the planchet lodged in a crevice of a mint bin and was freed some time later. An orange red and apple green example that has good strike and minor reverse abrasions. It was sold for $23,500. Number 1, and this is amazingly rare, proof 1975 Northwest Roosevelt dime, auctioned within a proof set comprised of bicentennial Kennedy Alf, bicentennial Eisenhower dollar, bicentennial Washington quarter, 1975 S. Jefferson nickel, 1975 Lincoln cent. According to Rongas, only 2 examples of 1975 Northwest dime are known. The first coin was discovered in 1975 proof set in 1977. The extreme rarity of 1975 Northwest proof dime can be explained in 2 ways. The error was discovered at the mint in a time to stop press, but not before a small quantity of sets had already gone out the door. The coins were deliberately made. This explanation is not as far-fetched as it may seem, because other remarkable proof errors emerged from San Francisco Mint during the early 1970s. This lot fetched the sum of $349,600. Number 17. This is 1942 Washington quarter in PR66 plus condition. According to NGC, proof sales rose about 40% over those of 1941 and would continue their rapid climb were it not for the interruption of the World War II. This turned out to be the last year of proof coinage until 1950. The Philadelphia Mint coined some 28,000 proof quarters just to have 21,000 offered for sale. An additional 123 appear in published figures, but these coins were reserved for essay and subsequently destroyed. The proof quarters of 1942 were well made overall, though the problem of the over-polished dies left many coins with poor or missing details among the design features of the lowest relief. Gems are plentiful through PF67, but examples grading higher are very rare. These PR66 plus specimen ended up selling for $216. Number 16. 1981 S. Kennedy Alf dollar in PR70 deep cameo condition. This is a rare, clear S mint mark style of the proof 1981 S half dollar, represented here by a pristine low-pop PCGS PR70 deep cameo. Silky smooth surfaces are untoned apart from a few swirls of pale gold tinting in the center of obverse. It was sold for $690. Number 15. This is 1941 S Jefferson nickel with repunched mint mark S over S, graded as MS65 by PCGS. Not only is a large S mint mark style scarce for 1941 S Jefferson nickel, but the present example exhibits a secondary S south of the primary mint mark. Silver grade surfaces are fully lustrous and expectably smooth at the gem grade level. It was sold for $1,840. Number 14. This is 1950 S Washington quarter in MS67 condition. Attractively toned superb gem. The peripheries of this dazzling coin display partial halos of crimson orange, pale gold, and powder blue iridescence, brilliant in the centers and frosty throughout. Both sides are nice enough to suggest an even higher superb gem rating. It ended up selling for $2,880. Number 13. Here is 1945 P Jefferson nickel in MS67 condition, with remarkably vivid tonic and multiple colors, blanketing smooth, frosty features. According to PCGS census, a grading service certified 1980 specimens in MS67 grade, with only 4 numerically finer. This example was sold for $3,737.50. Number 12. This is 1965 Jefferson nickel from Special Mint set, a profound strike and condition rarity that combines an uncommon degree of feel to device contrast for the type with virtually pristine surfaces. Untoned with captivating silver-white appearance, the 1965 is the most challenging of the 3 regular issue SMS Jefferson nickels of the 1960s to locate with deep cameo designation from PCGS. This proof gem ended up selling for $3,120. Number 11. Year is 1953, Washington Quarter in PR68 deep cameo condition. Brilliant silver-white surfaces offer strong contrast between frosty design elements and deeply mirrored fields. From a mintage of 128,800 pieces for this 1950s proof Washington Quarter issue, precious few of which combine a deep cameo finish with superb gem preservation, it was sold for $4,080. Number 10. This is 2001 piece Sacagawea struck on a Kentucky State Quarter, graded in Mint State 66 by NGC. According to Heritage, Kentucky is faintly evident near Liberty. The 2001 date is perceptibly beneath a slumbering infant, and the outline of the horse's head is also lightly apparent. According to the consigner, a well-known mint error specialist, this is the sole known example of a Sacagawea struck on a Kentucky Quarter, a few degrees uncentered toward 5 o'clock. It was sold for $5,750. Number 9. Here is 1990D Lincoln Center MS64 brown condition, an error penny struck on a pre-1983 copper planchet. In 1990s, the Mint was 8 years into using copper-plated zinc planchets that weighed only 2.5 grams. To say that the existence of this coin is unusual is an understatement. Struck at the Denver Mint, this piece likely owes its creation to the same unknown circumstances that produced the 1989D copper cent. Planchets were handled in bulk during manufacturing process, and the most wrong planchet errors are attributed to the planchets of one denomination or alloy becoming lodged in hoppers or other machinery only to spring loose in a stock of another year or denomination. The 1943 copper cents were created in this fashion as well. This rare error penny was sold for $5,640. Number 8. This is 2000p Maryland Quarter struck on a clad dime planchet, graded as MS64 by PCGS. The old line state is complete, as is virtually all of Maryland and Liberty. The mint mark is near the rim, but identifiable. State quarters struck on dimes are rarely encountered due to improved riddlers, and this lustrous and problem-free example was sold for $6,325. Number 7 here is 2000p Sacagawea in MS68 condition, graded in Mint State 68 by NGC. The so-called Curious dollars were distributed as a promotional gimmick in boxes of breakfast cereal. The characteristics that distinguish them from ordinary 2000p Sacagawea is detailed feather work on the eagle's tail feathers. This example is exceptionally well preserved, with bright, semi-reflective brass-gold surfaces. It is housed in a custom 2-coin NGC slab with 2000 Lincoln cent, which is graded MS66 red. It was sold for $6,600. Number 6 here is 1938 Washington Quarter in MS67 plus condition. CEC proven wonderful 25-cent piece, a marvelous superb gem example that should please even the most demanding specialists in the series. Absolutely full striking definition and satiny, pristine surfaces are evident on two sides of this impressive piece. It ended up selling for $7,343.75. Number 5. This is 1932 D Lincoln Cent MS67 red condition, a brilliant superb gem with fiery orange surfaces and frosty mint luster. This Denver Mint Depression era cent has exceptional eye appeal. Sharply struck design motifs are noted on both sides, and the pristine surfaces are virtually mark-free with minimal carbon flakes. It was sold for $8,225. Number 4. This is 1958 Lincoln Cent in MS67 plus red condition. More than $250 million 1958 cents were struck, but very few survive in superb gem condition with the PCGS Plus designation. This specimen comes with distinctive lilac accents around the Lincoln's head and rich reddish-orange colors throughout the incredibly smooth, sharply struck surfaces. Eye appeal is tremendous. It fetched the sum of $9,000. Number 3. This is 1939 Jefferson nickel with reverse of 1938, graded as PR68 by PCGS. According to its text powers, silky smooth surfaces are adorned with beautiful silver rose, powder blue, and pale gold iridescence, uniformly mirrored in finish, with a full strike and the strongest technical merits available in approved Jefferson nickel of this date. It was sold for $18,400. Number 2. This is 1909 VDB Lincoln Cent proof, red gem in PR65 condition, the rarest of the proof Lincoln Cents in the 1909 VDB. Only 1,194 coins were produced, and yet its issue is even scarcer than that mintage suggests. Later mud proofs such as 1915 and 1916 have even lower mintage, and yet they are more plentiful today than 1909 VDB. Some researchers suggest that only part of reported mintage was ever released, which, if true, could account for the scarcity of this issue today. It was sold for $33,600. Number 1, and this is 1932 D Washington Quarter in MS65 Plus condition, billowy satin luster, greets the viewer from both sides of this smooth, highly attractive silver-tinged gem. Impressive technical quality and eye appeal for this key date and conditionally challenging issue from the first year of the Washington Quarter series. Though the 1932 D's mintage of 436,800 pieces is nearly 30,000 more than its San Francisco Mint counterpart. At grades of EF40 or finer, the 1932 D becomes the key date of the series. This specimen ended up selling for $41,125. Thanks for watching this episode till the end. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons below this video, and comment if you have such rare coins. Stay well.